Oh my goodness, we are so excited and we're really weirdly nervous. I don't know why. I don't know. We're just super pumped about this. So, you guys, we're just going to jump on in. If I could encourage you to do anything, it would be just to take a couple seconds to text everybody on your team, send it in the group chat, send it on the group page. We still have about 400 spots until this max is out, and this is going to be a good one. I am so, so, so excited. I didn't waste any time. It like flipped over to 10 o'clock and I pushed this on, and I'm ready to go. Okay. I feel guilty because it's not like maxed out yet, but it's okay. I was given a task and I'm going to start. Okay, guys, hello. We're so pumped for this. I am Rachel Jones. I have been with our company for almost 6 years. In 2 months, I will be celebrating 6 years, which is actually mind-blowing to me because I give up on everything in my life, diets, all the things, and this is the longest thing I've ever lasted with something. So this is actually a huge accomplishment. And you guys, when I joined this business nearly 6 years ago, I wasn't looking for it. It definitely found me, and I did things out of order. I got pregnant. I got pregnant in college. I wasn't even married. I just did all of the things out of order, and because of that, life was hard. And I know that there's at least one person watching this that can relate to just being a young mom and doing things completely not the way you're supposed to do. So with that being said, I needed this business at the perfect time, and that's when it found me. And there was only one person posting on my social media. I was only interested in the products. I didn't have a brain cell to for the selling side. I just didn't even think that was an option. And so I'm just really glad that she, when I said no to being a customer, I'm really glad that she brought up that part. And I'm actually excited that that's a part of my story, because we're going to talk about going for no, signing distributors from host to post, all of the things having to do with just working your business even when it's hard. Does that make sense? So I'm really excited about that. Enough about me. I would love to bring on my guest. She has really bad allergies right now, so give her some grace. I was like, oh no, are we still on for today? But you guys, I'm pumped about this. You know, when we do these host to post movement Zooms, we are encouraged to choose people, whether they're on our team or sidelines, that maybe haven't been heard. Maybe they have a different walk of life, variety, just anything that could, you know, resonate with someone. And I'm really excited for Yulise. She's someone that I just hold near and dear to my heart. Her story is one that I need you guys to listen to. I need you guys to hear what she says, because it inspires the crap out of me to this day to know that there are still people out there that we judge by their cover, and they're not set up for success, and they completely blow you away. So I want to first off, real quick, let's hope I can do this here. I want to screen share, and I want to real quick flash our income disclosure statement, because we are so proud of that. I just wanted to let you guys know that we do take it very serious. These are all just averages, and it's just amazing that we can make this type of money with our business. So I'm so sorry. I'm like a grandma here, not knowing how to work my new computer. But Yulise, I would love for you just to tell a little bit about your story, so they can get to know you and kind of just talk about pre-It Works and how our paths cross, because it's going to inspire everybody.
Okay, hi everybody, I'm Yulise. I'm with It Works for about 2.5 years now. And okay, so the way our paths crossed was 2.5 years ago. We had just relocated from Turkey to the United States. So I'm not from here. I was born and raised in Germany, but I'm originally from Turkey. So we got here with my daughter because she wanted to continue her education here. So I figured, you know, she should go to high school here, all that stuff. So starting our life from scratch, I got a job working at a daycare with infants and toddlers, which I love babies. So, but I wasn't making enough, you know, to live by as a single mom, not having any family support around me to help me out. So I was looking for something to do on the weekends or maybe on the evenings. I really didn't want to, but I had no choice. I thought I had to. Around that same time, I saw somebody on my Facebook posting about the cleanse. So I reached out to the person, and that was Rachel. I asked about the cleanse, and you know, she told me about it, and I was like, dang it, I can't afford it right now. Like I can't spend $40. At the time, I think it was $36. I couldn't even spend that money on myself. So that really actually got to me. Guys, I'm almost 44 years old. And when you're at this age and you can't even spend $40 on yourself a month, you know, that gets to you. So I was really bummed about that. So I started following her for about a week, not really too long. And I kept saying her post about how she was making a living off of doing this. And I got really curious because I was looking for a job at the same time. So I reached out to her and I said, what do you do? What is it that you do? You know? And she told me a little bit about it. I think I maybe thought about it for 3 days. We played a little phone tag here and there because I was getting a little chickened out at first, but I was like, I really want this, but I don't really know what this is, but I really have to give it a try. So I hopped on. I had to borrow the money to join from my ex-in-laws, which was weird, but I did what I had to do because I really needed something for me and my daughter. So yeah.
Okay,
Hopped
good.
on, did not know what to do, had no market, seriously had no market. I had 200 friends on my Facebook and 185 of them were from Turkey, didn't even speak English. I'm like, who do I talk to about this product? I have no friends here. What do I do?
Okay, now I need you to pause because I need you to read the comments while I talk, not while you're talking, because that totally throws us off. But this is why I wanted you on, because people are so inspired, you guys. I need to just, I don't know, I'm so extra with this, but like sometimes I feel like when it's repeated by another person, you hear it that second time. You guys, she said she lived in Turkey, came here, had no market. She had 200 friends, and 75% of those friends were from Turkey. So she joined not having anything to, I have a saying in my head, but it has a swear word, so we can't say it. But like she didn't have anything on her side to help her be successful. Here's what is gonna, I'm gonna be really transparent because I'm okay with that. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. She saw a cleanse host to post. That was our bread and butter back then, 2 years ago, cleanse host to post. She saw it. She said she didn't have the money for it, but here's the deal. I got her to my Facebook. You know, we friend them before we message them. And this is opening the door to automatically help have potential distributors, right? And that's what this topic is, a part of this topic is about, is how do you sign distributors also by leading with the product? And that's exactly what I did, even though I didn't intentionally do it. So is that encouraging to you guys? Because to me it is. Again, I'm gonna say it one more time. I had someone, I don't even know who our mutual friend was, but I had someone do the cleanse post. Yelise commented on it, didn't have the money, but now she's in like my backyard on my Facebook. And so if you're confident with your Facebook and you're consistently sharing your story, you're opening the door every time somebody accepts your friend request. For me, that gets me excited. You don't have to just send 50 bajillion messages for people to join your team. You're automatically knocking 2 birds out with 1 stone. Here I am, I talked to her about the cleanse, and now she gets to look at my life and see which one she really wants to do. So what's crazy is she said that we played phone tag. We couldn't get each other at the same time. She worked at that daycare. And then when I finally got her on the phone, I don't even think I said like 3 sentences, and you're like, oh, she cut me off, and she's like, okay, good, it's fine, I want to join. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I just needed to know you were real and like that this wasn't a scam. And I'm like, okay. So here's the crazy thing, and this is where my transparency comes into play. And she knows this, so I'm not being like mean when I say this. When she joined, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. She signed up, I went to welcome her, and I went to her Facebook and saw she did a host post for me when she didn't have the money for the cleanse, and she didn't get a single like or a comment. So here I am, I'm looking at her Facebook and I'm like, oh, she's the one that joined my team. She's probably not going to do very good, right? And I automatically had my mindset that because of that, because she didn't have money for the cleanse and because her host post was a dud, that she probably would be a dud, right? And she couldn't have completely transform my mindset on her. So I wanted to make sure I said that before we dive into what's about to really blow your mind. But again, you guys, that's the beauty of host to post in this bit. I'm like cheesing so hard because it gets me so excited. It all started from a cleanse host post. You didn't have the money, but now you are on my Facebook, and I feel like actions speak louder than words, and my post did it for you. And so I want you to talk about what happened the day you joined, and just kind of having that realization of, oh my gosh, I really have no one in my corner that could help me out with this. So how did it start, and how did that first couple weeks look for you once you were in?
Okay, yeah, I remember that phone conversation I had with you. I did cut you off really quickly because I was on my lunch break and I only had like 30 minutes before I had to go back to work because we were not allowed to have our phones at work. So I was like, I need to do this now. I was like, okay, I'm in, what do I need to do? Send me your link. So I signed up, and as I'm driving to work, I'm like, I don't even know what this is. I don't know. I've never sold a thing in my life. Who do I talk to about this? I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't even know my neighbors. So I think I talked to a few people at work and they just kind of blew me off. And, you know, I sent a few messages here and there to the little people that I knew here. Nobody really responded. I could see that they were seeing my messages. Nobody really responded, but I was like, no, that's okay. Because I kept in really close contact with Rachel. I think I was texting her every 10 minutes. What do you want me to do? What is my next step? Okay, here's my 30s list. Here's a picture of the, you know, I was on top of it. I was so hungry to learn. I would come home and I would turn on YouTube and I would watch training videos, what the company is about, how we work this business, and all that stuff. So I think about a week into it is when Rachel introduced me to Host the Post. And I started messaging for Host the Post. Like I said, I didn't really have a whole lot of people on my network that lived here. And the little percentage that lived here, maybe like 20 people, I sent a message out and a few of them put a Host the Post up. And one of them, I'll never forget, got like 126 comments.
Yeah.
126 comments. I didn't know what to do. I was ignorance on fire. Every time somebody would comment on the Host the Post saying, I'm interested, I would text Rachel and go, I got a sale. Like, little did I know.
Yeah.
That's how hungry I was. And so with that Host the Post, it opened up a totally different door for me. Now I was constantly talking to people. I was adding those people to my Facebook. Within a couple of weeks, I had so many more friends on my Facebook. I had them do a Host the Post for me. So I signed mid-February, and by the time it was mid-March, I think I had already signed 97 customers.
Yeah.
Within those 3.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So Host the Post is what opened my business, and I still do it to this day, every day.
Mm-hmm. That like Host to Post is like, she really, really loves it. That's like everything that you leave. And you guys, here's the deal. Things are different now. She joined 2 years ago. If we're going to keep the transparency going here, transparency, I think that the reason why I didn't have you do it for the first week is because I don't know. I wonder if I just automatically prejudged you in thinking that you weren't going to do as well as I thought. And then we fell back on Host to Post. I didn't realize it took us about like a week. So you had a slow start. You guys, I'm reading the comments, Elise. I don't know if you are, but some people are crying over this. You're touching the people that either just joined or the people that are like, wow, I felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel, because they're not having those crazy stories. And so I just love that you're talking about this so in depth, and you're talking about how you know, you weren't necessarily set up for success, but you never let any of that stand in your way. Okay, you guys. So she has a lot of crazy stuff that happened in the beginning. Like she signed those 90 bajillion customers in her first like 2 to 4 weeks. And then I think she got the Emerald bonus. Like she just went on and on and on and on. But then here's where this really aligns with our topic. Then things slow down, you know? And so this is something that needs to be addressed, because there are a lot of people. Host to Post is so beautiful that you should start it right out of the gate as a new distributor. But here's the bittersweet thing about that. Oftentimes with Host to Post, this is not everybody, but oftentimes a new distributor signs up, they dive into Host Post, and they sign up a bunch of people. If you truly dive in like Elise did, she's a Virgo, she doesn't ever complain. She's like, just tell me, like, and she just is like, just tell me, and I'll do it. And she never ever complains, and I just love it. But, you know, oftentimes if you dive in, it's crazy, crazy fast right off the gate. But the issue with that is that when it slows down and the norm happens to where you're not signing 50 bajillion customers every day, you think something's wrong with you. But this never really happened with you, Elise. But I want us to fast forward to 6 months in, when things did slow down and you were already a diamond. And I want you just to kind of be really transparent with everybody, because this aligns with our topic of kind of just not necessarily discouragement, but going for no and pushing through the hard times. I really just want you to talk about 6 months in and how that looked for you and how you kept going.
Okay, yeah. Like you said, I think within my first 2 months, I did make Emerald, and we had the bonus or something, you know, the Emerald bonus. So I got that. And then shortly after that, maybe about a year into that, I got Diamond. And within a month after that, I got Double Diamond. So things happened really fast, and it was amazing. And then a few months into that, things started slowing down for me, because I even started getting no's from my team at the time. You know, life happened to some people on my team, and I was basically, it was just me and one other girl holding on to a whole Double Diamond team. Yes. But I could not let that stop me. I could not. because I did not want to go back to the situation that I was in not too long before then. I kept telling myself, you can't stop. There's no way you're going to go back to where you can do this. I would talk to myself and I would tell myself, you're freaking Elise. Like you sign 100 customers a month. What's wrong with you? You know? So, I mean, and all at the same time, I'm working full time, mind you, not being able to be on my phone other than my lunch break in the mornings, in the evenings, and on the weekends. So I would stay up late and I just kept on going. I just kept on expanding my network. I realized, okay, if I'm stuck here, I got to change something. And what do I have control of? I have control of my audience. I have control of my network. Okay. So I started, expanding my network, talking to new people, adding new friends. That was my to-do every day, to add at least 50 new people to my Facebook every day. I focused on that for a little while, and then I saw a huge shift happening because I was like, no, it's not going to stop. There's no way. I'm not taking no for an answer from anybody. So.
Oh, that was so good. People, I'm blowing up the chat room. I'm watching the chat room blow up. And I love that. I just love that you said, what do I have control over? I have control over my network, you guys. So again, just to reiterate everything she said, she went fast. She had the volume, she had the people, she did it. And then, it hadn't even been a year. And it felt like everybody just completely left her. They didn't have the same vision as her. And oftentimes when this happens, it's a hard pill to swallow because no one really talks to you. I remember being a little bit salty in the beginning, like not in the beginning, but when things died down for me after 5 months, that sounds crazy, only 5 months, but I took off really fast. And then I dealt with my first quitter and my first chart crumble around 5 or 6 months. And I remember being so upset and frustrated because I'm like, no one told me about this. Like no one talked me into, like, no one told me how to handle when people leave you, when people don't have the same vision, because I took off so fast that I was so naive and thinking that everybody had the same. But here's the deal. Why would people talk about it if you don't need to be like, why would I slow Elise down and be like, here's the deal. People are going to quit. They're going to leave. And so I just think it's crazy that sometimes we just don't even know what to do with it. But yes, that is something they're loving about your story is that you worked full time. And you guys, she worked with little kids, little babies. She could have gotten in trouble if she was on her phone. So like she had a lot of areas in her life that she couldn't control. She couldn't control not being on her phone, but she could control staying up. She's our night owl. I don't know how she does it. Stays up all night long. And that's when she gets her best host post. And then she could control her network. Okay, so with your team not having the same vision, and it was maybe you and one other person doing the whole thing, how did that next, I don't want us to get to the 2 months ago, I don't, but I want you to kind of talk about how and what you did to rebuild, and for that next year of just host to posting and just continuing going when your business wasn't looking the best.
Expanding my network, I focused on that a lot. And I saw somebody was asking, did she just add new people or was she like creating relationships? I couldn't create relationships with all of them, to be honest with you, because I was adding so many. I mean, I tried my best, I would comment on their posts, I'd try to talk to them, but I couldn't create a relationship with all of them. I was just consistent. I was consistent about posting. I was consistent about messaging. I did not go to sleep if I didn't have a certain amount of host to post under my belt. I talked to people till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to work. I just was not going to take no for an answer from anybody. And host to post, I would talk to people about product and they would say no. I got a lot of no's. I got a lot of no's from, people that were on my team. I got a lot of no's from people that did not want to purchase. And that kind of upset me in a way, but I was like, it's not going to stop me. So every no's that I got from a customer turned into a host to post. Each host to post is expanding my network, because when you're doing host to post, you really don't have to do anything else. You're not only expanding your network, you're always having potential loyal customers, you're always having potential distributors. So I was adding people intentionally and I was doing the host to post. So I was adding a lot of people all at once to my network. And I would go back from like 3 or 4 months ago. This is going to sound mean, but I would go through my friends list, and if they are not going to do anything, I would remove them kindly. But I had to do what I had to do. So I just stayed consistent with host to post. And I think I got into a mindset since from the get-go that I have to be a mass enroller to keep my head afloat. and it has never stopped since then. Like the minimum is like 50 to 60 a month. I mean, okay, I had my slow months, you know, like everyone does, but for the majority of the part, it's 40 to 60 or 80 customers a month. Because I think in my mind, I remember when everyone on my team did not want to work anymore, it was all on me to keep my volume going. So I have the mindset still, I have to get this volume. I have to enroll customers. I have to bring in mass volume. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just love that I love your mindset, because yes, we would love to have a whole team working with us, but it doesn't always align that way. And you don't let that stop you. So I love that. And something that I wrote down that was significant to me was that you said when you're hustling and you get those no's, you said, it upset me, but I wasn't going to let it stop me, you guys. So it is okay to feel those feelings of like, dang, 5 people in a row said no, but you can't let it stop you. And that's the difference between you, Elise, and some people watching, is that they cannot take or handle a no. And so you guys, this sounds so cliche, but it was something that was always, drilled into my head when I joined, was every no you get brings you that much closer to a yes. It does. And you guys, someone saying no, like coming from a sensitive person, someone saying no it's not a reflection of you. I mean, sometimes I've messaged the wrong way and they've straight up said no to me, but for the most part, it's not a reflection of you guys. It doesn't mean you have to throw in the towel and just, you're done for. It doesn't mean anything. You have to keep on going. You'd be naive in thinking that you're not going to get those no's. And there are still days to this day where it's like, holy moly, every single person said no to hosting a poster. We have those days where like Elise will put in the chat and she'll be like, the crazies are out today. And it's like, but it's funny. We just laugh it off and we keep going. We're not going to sit and cry about it. We know that there's someone out there that will post for us and it'll blow up. So I'm so glad that you said that. It upset you, but you weren't going to let it stop you guys. So super, super awesome. Here's a question that I would love for you to answer that a lot of people are asking is, what host to post do you like? And I know you loved the cleanse in the beginning, but could you quickly touch on the host post you like, but then how you are very aware with what is and isn't working for your network, and you play with it, and you're willing to find what's working, but you're also willing to be like, that's great that post works for you, Rachel, but it doesn't work for me. I'm going to stick to what I know. Could you kind of touch on that real quick for the people that are like, what host posts are you doing, etc.?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I did nothing but cleanse. All my sales, the 97 sales that I'm talking about in the beginning, 97 cleanses. There was nothing else, maybe one wrap, but that was it. So I did, cleanse was my jam. I would get the cleanse host to post up every day for months. That lasted for me. And then all of a sudden it stopped working and things started slowing down. I mean, I would still get some host to post up here and there, but I think I switched it over to the TFX January of 2019 when we came out with the TFX.
Yeah.
And I got so many hosts to post up. I signed so many customers. I think my network now switched from cleanse to TFX, because now when I'm posting about the cleanse, I'm not getting as many interactions as I'm doing with the TFX. So you guys need to be aware of that too. Be aware of your network, because if you're consistently talking about the TFX and the coffee, that's what your network's gonna be about, because you got them posting about, the TFX, whether they were interested on the TFX, they couldn't afford it. Now they're posting about it. So your network is going to be about what you're hosting, what you're having them host for you. So I switched to TFX right now. I still play with like the coffee and the cleanse every now and then. But 90% of the time it's TFX right now. It's working really good. And I do try to upsell from the TFX to the skinny brew. I talk about that a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's really, that is so good that you said that again, because it's not just for like the products you got, like just the whole, like what I'm getting from this and what's getting me excited is like, we have control over our network and we have control over expanding it. We have control of the content that we put out there, you guys. So again, I don't know if anyone else is getting giddy like me, but I'm like, okay, cool. I've been lazy this weekend. I took my Sabbath. I've just been living the best life, like not really putting intentional work into my my news feed. But this is what is so awesome. And this was the second half, was just like the getting distributors from it. You guys hear what she said and hear what I say, take a little bit of me, take a little bit of her, boom, you're golden and you're set up for success, because that is how I got Yaliz. Is I was posting my story all the time. And I was continuously talking about the opportunity in those lifestyle posts. You know, prior to Host a Post was newer when Elise joined. Host a Post has been around for 3 years now. And she joined 2 years ago. So it was newer. And before Host a Post truly blew up, I was all about signing distributors, all about it. It was my lifeline, because I was always talking about myself. If we're being honest, I was talking about every piece of my story, because I knew that I had a gift to be given, and it almost made me uncomfortable not to share it. And here Elise is talking about the same sense, but on product side, she's always talking about the products all over her social media. So it goes hand in hand. One, you're going to add people to your network no matter what, because they're commenting on the post. Two, they either see the products, and that's just like one more thing on your resume to be like, okay, cool, I'm actually really interested in these products. I saw the post on my friend's wall. Now I'm on her wall creeping on it, and I see all of these results, pictures, and all of this stuff, and it makes them want to sign up as customers. But then two, if you think about my side, if you're also sharing your story, maybe they just forget the product, or that's really exciting to them, but they're like, now I want to make money. Oftentimes, I think what you guys have to realize when you're diving into Host a Post, yes, we lead with the products because that's very easy to do. I'm just going to use the word easy. Host a Post is easy. If it's not easy for you watching, that's because you have a bad mindset on it. And I say this, like, hear my heart, and please don't twist my words and think that I'm like aggressive or I don't get it. I've heard people say that it just doesn't work for them. It just doesn't work for them. Host a Post works. It's just your network that's not working. Okay. So we've been there. Elise talked about it a few times on how, 6 months in, it wasn't just a lot of no's with her team. It was also her network. She had maxed out those people. It took off so fast. She had to regroup. She had to clear out a lot of people and bring new people in. I'm currently going through that right now. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's been nearly 6 years. How do I still have a janky network? But it just happens to where the algorithm just isn't on my side, and it's the same people seeing it over and over and over again. And those same people right now have no money, and they're giving me the go around. And so I need to work on my network. I'm not going to automatically be like, it worked, or I keep saying it works. Host a Post doesn't work. I'm done, because the last 15 host posts I got up all got 0 comments and 0 likes. I'm not going to do that. I just know it's time to clean people out and bring people in. And the best way to do that, you guys, I mean, you can totally print off your friends list and go through the people, but I like to just focus on partnered up, the giveaway posts. I just had a talk with one of my girls that went diamond in 30 days, and she's kind of struggling now because she's like, it happened really fast. Now I feel like I have no one that wants to do anything for me because I've exhausted it. And so I gave her the challenge. Your next 10 Host a Posts are all going to be partnered up. I've partnered up with my friend Bryson to give away $50 to 10 people, and then you're going to tap into everybody's network that way. So sometimes you got to pump the brakes, switch up the Host a Post, bring in new people, but do not have the mindset that Host a Post doesn't work, you guys. We lead with the products, we get them on our Facebook, and it's like, check mark, I got them in. Now it's only a matter of time on when they're going to join, you guys. And that's exactly what happened to Elise. So there wasn't 869 people on one night we joined. I want to just remind you guys, if you missed the beginning of her story, I had a mutual friend with Elise. I had that person do cleanse Host a Post. Elise commented wanting the cleanse and didn't have the money. And so she was now on my Facebook, and she saw me talk about the business over and over again. And within a week, she joined my team. She didn't have the money for the cleanse, but she saw my products enough, or she saw my posts enough to where she found the $100 to join us, you guys. And that was my story too. I was interested in the wraps. I didn't have the $59 to become a customer. Oh, but she told me enough to where I found the $100 to join her team because the post said enough. Okay. So I hope that's encouraging to you guys in the sense of there isn't always a perfect message to get 50 distributors on your team. There isn't always the perfect Host a Post. If only you guys saw, like, even though we know Host a Post and we can do it like with our eyes closed, if only you saw our conversations in our diamond chat where we're just like, what is going on? We need a new one. Like, it's just wild right now. It just happens, but we aren't going to stop. And so for me, I hope that resonated with someone in the sense of, like, for me, it just makes me go like, okay, there's not the most perfect message and the perfect Host a Post. I just have to be consistent. And there are the perfect people out there. And I just have to go and go and go. And I trust that God will place those people in my path when I'm ready for it. I just feel like it. And maybe right now my network's jank because I'm supposed to be focusing on those people out there that for some reason, they're not aligned in my path, but they're next to my path. Maybe I right now need to focus on clearing them out because God thinks that I'm not responsible enough for the people he's about to bless me with. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive in thinking that, but I'm just not going to get discouraged about the lack of host posts that are working, the lack of distributors that are joining. I know the concept works. So if you don't think the concept works, that's step number one. That's your homework assignment. You need to talk to someone on your team that's killing it with host posts and figure out why you have this ill will about it, because you cannot go further if you don't think host posts is awesome. Just being honest. Okay, sorry, I just went off. But okay, cool. So that, I hope that's helpful. And I'll make sure I check out the chats if there's like one specific question that's been asked over and over again. But now, Elise, I want you to talk about the past 60 days. Just be careful with, you know, what we can and can't say based on what's going on in the world. But I really, you guys, because Elise, I FaceTimed her, I think at the end of last month, and I'm just like, what is this? It's been 2 years and like, she's a new woman. Like, she is a new woman with a team that is just hungry and growing, and it makes me so emotional. So could you kind of talk about the shift 2 months ago and how the past 2 months have looked for you?
Yes. So yeah, I've been in it for a little over 2 years, like she said, and until about 2 months ago, I worked full time. The whole time I was a double diamond, and I was still working full time. So with what's going on, of course, they let me go. I got a phone call one day. Well, I got a text message from my boss asking me if I had time to talk. I knew exactly what that was about, and just my heart kind of jumped into my stomach, and I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. So they told me, you know, that they didn't need me. So I sat on my couch for a little bit, just looking at the wall going, I know I'm successful with my business. I know I don't necessarily need this job, but I've had it for so long. And, you know, it was just kind of like a little security blanket. I don't know what it was. Being Virgos, we get attached to things, don't we? Like, I'm like, I can't let go. So when they had to do that to me, I sat on my couch and I was sitting there having a little pity party for like maybe 15 minutes. And then I had my head in my hands, and I'm going like, what do I do? What's going to happen? Do I go back home? Now I can't pack my luggage and go back home. My daughter doesn't want to come with me. I can't change my whole life around again. You know, I had to tell myself, like, get your head up, remember who you are and what you have your hands on. Because what we have our hands on is so amazing. It's all about mindset. You just got to switch your mindset. You got to want it bad enough. If I made it work for so long, what's different now? If anything, it's going to be even more amazing because I can be on my phone now. I could not be on my phone at work and I still managed to make all the way to Double Diamond. Well, now I'm home. I could focus, put all my energy into my business. And that's exactly what I did. And I think what happened with my team is that we all had the same mind switch, you know, changed our minds. And I, in a sense, changed my mind into when before, all I had to do was I need to maintain my rank. I need to bring in 10,000 volume a month. I switched my mind into if I can focus on that and bring so much, why can't I give 50% of that and focus on women that need this as much as I do? Because if I couldn't come up with the money for the cleanse, but I needed the money, so I found the $100 to join. There's a lot of people out there like that. So that is how I introduce the business to people a lot of the times. When they tell me they can't afford the product, I do remind them, if you can't afford the product, maybe you need this business. That way you don't ever have to wonder, can you afford a $40 product for yourself? You know, I tell them how I started, how I was interested in a product and I couldn't afford it and I had to borrow the money and now I never look back. I tell them my story, and I think that changed my whole team and everything that's going around right now. So my team is more successful. I'm more successful. I signed 6 DTs this month so far.
What?
You didn't know?
No, I signed one, but it's okay. Keep going.
But yeah, mindset is everything. So I had to switch my mind. I had to have a self-talk, pep talk with myself, reminding myself, you're amazing. You can do this. You're signing 100 customers a month. You can sign DTs. You know, there's women out there just like you that need this business just as much as you do.
So good. You're just getting me so excited. And you guys, this is what I love is like, I do think that it's rare, and I hope this is okay for me to say, but I do sometimes think in this business, it's rare to be really good at mass enrolling distributors and mass enrolling loyals at the same time. I really feel like it's rare. And if there are people doing it, you just slide into my DMs. I'd love to know how you're doing it, but I feel like we get what we focus on. And so like for our team, oftentimes we can sign 50 plus customers a month, and that's a good average, and that's awesome. We're a loyal customer signing team. But then I think when you get caught up in that month after month, that like right now, I know we talked about this on our team Zoom last night, it's like, we're kind of feeling a little like, it's a little blurry. Like, how do you even sign distributors these days? I don't really know. It doesn't happen as fast as loyals. And so I just love that you've always been a really good customer signing machine. But what I keep hearing you say, like what I keep hearing from you is mindset. And so I just love that you have literally taken us over the past 35 minutes on your entire walk of life throughout It Works, the before, the during, and now. And it hasn't been easy, but at the center has been your mindset and what you have told yourself or believed about yourself or the company, because that's huge too. It's not a matter of how awesome we think we are, but do you believe in this company? Do you believe in the systems that all the investors talk about all the time? That all of, I think we can look at it one or two ways. Sometimes I think like, and I've been guilty of this, I've gotten on Zooms and I've been like, I've been not in the good mindset, not in a good space in my own business. And then I get on someone's Zoom and I'm like, instead of me being pumped up that they signed 100 customers, I'm like, well, you think about all the nasty things you can say, like, well, that doesn't work for me. I'm not on Instagram or whatever you can tell yourself to make sure, like, because it's, God forbid, it's like the system, right? So I think it's really important that you kept on saying that over and over again. And everyone's talking about how confident you are with how you talk to and about yourself. And so I'm really excited about that. And then I really want to address something that keeps on being said. First of all, I'll address that after, but I want people are asking what, they're feeling two things. They're feeling salesy. They don't know what to even message. Like, how are you getting the host posts up? Could we talk about the posts you're doing and the messaging you're doing? But then also real quick, address the people that are also like, no one will host a post for me, because there are still people in the comments that are like, it's just not working for me. Sorry, that was like 5 questions wrapped in one.
Okay, I'm like, where do I start with? So what message am I sending? I think I saw that question too.
Yep.
So when I started 2 years ago, we weren't doing giveaways. Everyone was kind of doing little giveaways here and there, maybe personal giveaways. So I actually was getting 80 to 90 host posts up a month by just asking them a favor. I think I was just asking so many people, like maybe they were getting tired of me. I don't know, but I would just simply say, hey, do you mind, putting a post up for me, and if it blows up, I may be able to get you like a little goodie bag or something like that. So they were just host a post for favors. There was no giveaways involved. So now that we have the giveaways, it's a lot easier to get host a post up, but I still get no's a lot. Like yesterday, all day long, I could not get up more than 2 host a posts until about 8 p.m. One of them had 2 comments, the other one had nothing. And I was like, okay, this isn't happening. So I got on my phone and I pulled up Facebook. This is what I do. I don't have my friends list printed right now. So what I do is I get on my Facebook, I'll click on most recent, the people that most recently posted. I know they're online right now. I know they're going to see it. I'll go through their posts and see who most recently posted. I'll message them about the giveaway, and 7 out of 10 times I get a yes. So I did that for 45 minutes last night intentionally, and by the time I went to bed, I had 12 host posts up. So now my phone is blowing up from the night before. So just be consistent. Just because host post isn't working or people are telling you no, ask more people. Mm-hmm. Don't stop. Don't say, okay, I already sent my 200 today. Okay, I'm done. Mm-hmm. No, if you're getting 10 host posts up with that 200 message, 8 of those host posts are dead. I don't consider that I have 10 host posts up. I consider I only have 2. I need to get 8 more. So always ask for one more. Just keep on going.
Yeah. And I'm really glad that Sally said that. She said it doesn't matter if we get them up late at night, just get them up. And that's something that like I would get in my head about, because here I'm not a night owl, but Yeliz is, and a lot of Yeliz's team are too. And it's like, it messes with you because it's like, am I doing it wrong? Should I be doing that? But the thing to remember is that host to post works. It just works. So that's the great thing, is like, it's not like host to post only works when you do it this. It works, and we all do it so different at different times. And there are people on here, like I've gotten on Zooms that have inspired the crap out of me, and people have been like, I don't get them up until 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, holy moly. To me, it's not like I'm going to change what I'm doing. I might dabble in that and try, but to me, it's just encouraging, like, cool. I swear by 6 to 8 in the morning, and someone else swears by none throughout the day. It's just so stinking cool. So do you understand, again, guys, sorry, now I feel like I'm being a mom, but do you understand like how it's all the mindset? If something's not working for you, figure out how to switch it up. There's another thing that keeps on happening. Oh my gosh, I'm like getting so excited, I can't even talk. Something that keeps showing up in the chat room is lifestyle posts and just all of that. And I hope that I'm not like letting down like the people that put me on today for the topic. But honestly, when it comes to signing distributors, that is something I haven't been doing, is messaging for them. But I talked to our team yesterday, and I'm like, that's something that I'm aware of. I'm not having enough potentials being added to my list, that I need to start carving out time to messaging for distributors, because that's what I did to get me triple diamond. And it completely blew up my business. And then we dove into host to post and all of the things. So when it comes to signing distributors, you can message for them and build that relationship. And I do believe in that. Some of my best people on my team were from the message. So don't be necessarily against it. There are right ways to do it. But then you can also message the people that host post for you and be like, okay, girl, what you just did is what I do, but you're making me money. Have you been needing an extra income? I just had to just come right out and ask you. You guys, you've already taken the pressure of like that first initial message, because they already posted for you. So you can do that, or you can give yourself a rule that if there's at least 2 comments on everybody's, you can be like, look at all the interaction you're getting. You guys, just the biggest thing is just asking. But then I want to real quick talk about, and I know we're going to wrap this up, I want to talk about, again, how important it is just to keep your network, your Facebook newsfeed, your life, and having It Works be a big part of that. You guys, I saw a few people in the comments say, I live a boring life. So do I, guys. It's great that we are at the top of the company. It's great that we have all of the things that we could brag about if we wanted to brag about, but I stay home and I live in my pajamas and I don't do anything. And so I want you guys to know that you don't have to be ambassadors in the company to have these great posts of how awesome your life is. You have a story, and that's the most powerful thing about you. It doesn't matter what my story is. It doesn't matter what Yuli's is. The day you joined, your story became very significant in your life. So I gave you guys that homework assignment of your mindset on host posts. Those people on here, I'm not going to call you out, but I'm calling you out. If you don't fully love and believe in host posts, we got to figure out what the deal is. And that's something for your upline or your team to help you out with. The second thing is figuring out what your story is. You guys, I want you to think about before It Works, during It Works, and then the future. Okay, that's literally how we do it. And I hope that just takes the pressure off of you guys. It's so simple. And as you're in this business longer and longer, your story evolves and it becomes bigger and deeper. And you become, it's funny how like when you have money under your belt and you're like making more and you're rising up in the company, how you're more comfortable talking about the things that gave you anxiety talking about before. You know, like for me, I didn't talk about food stamps until it was clear that I wasn't on them because of my insecurities. So the sooner you can talk about those things that make you uncomfortable. If only you guys knew how many moms I've signed up because they're like, I am on government assistance too, and it doesn't make me feel good. And we have that connection. But imagine if I never talked about that, you guys. So don't be embarrassed by your story. Flaunt it and be vulnerable as much as you're comfortable with. So again, just separating it in between the past, the present, and the future. So for example, for me, and that doesn't even matter if you've been in the business for 5 days, guys, it's just going to be a shorter story, but it'll evolve. Okay. So let's say you've been in it for just a week. Okay. And you think, I don't have a story. This homework assignment doesn't really apply to me. Where were you before this person signed you up? Whether you reached out to the person or they found you, where were you at? Yeah, I get it. That was a week ago. But where were you at with your mindset, with your life, with how everything felt day to day? That's a big part, a very significant part about your story right now. And then I want you to talk about now. I get it. It might be only 5 days in the business, but you're obviously feeling probably a little bit more better about yourself. So what are you doing now? So maybe yours is like, if you've been in it for 5 days, just an example for anybody that needs it, you know, Before It Works, I was living paycheck to paycheck, feeling like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. My husband is overworked, and I just really wanted more out of life. I want to take my kids to Disney so bad. Maybe that's what it was. That's like the significant part of your life. And now you're in it for a week, and you're like, now I get to do this wherever I go, and I'm helping hundreds of thousands of people, and I get to share it with everyone, and yada, yada, yada. It's something small, but there's already a difference between before and now. And then the most important part that I feel is the future and dreaming, because people want to be on someone's team that has a vision. And that is why I've continued to sign up distributors. I didn't stop when we hit top 150. I didn't stop when all of those great things were added to my resume. I dreamed even bigger, because they don't want to be on someone's team that doesn't have a plan and doesn't have that brain cell to dream bigger. They want to be on someone's team that isn't stopping, that sees something so big, because they keep on going, and you're a fast-paced team. Does this make sense, you guys? So I gave you guys that example, and maybe it's when I go diamond, I'm going to be debt free. When I go diamond, I'm going to be able to be a stay-at-home mom, and I can't wait to do that in 3 months. You know, whatever it is, that's what I did. And I did that from day one. My thing was diamond in 90 days, diamond in 90 days. I had to do it. That was what my driving factor was. And so I kept talking about, when I go diamond in December, this is what's going to happen. When I go, and then they all became a part of my story. All my Facebook friends, all the people that joined me, they wanted to be a part of that. And then as you're in this business longer and longer, your story evolves. And so now it's been nearly 6 years. And I have so many different parts of my story I could utilize to sign distributors. You know, maybe today I feel called to just talk about how I was in college when I joined, because I forget about that part. I forget about the fact that I was starting my senior year of college when I joined It Works. And so if I talk about college, the fact that I did this in my college schedule, imagine how many people I could reach that are in college right now that maybe have seen me talk about how I'm an awesome mom and I'm the yes mom and all the things having to do with my kids. Maybe they haven't wanted to join me because they think that that's all it is for moms that want better lives for their kids, right? So there are different parts of my story that I will talk about on any given day based on what I feel called to do. But the biggest thing is just having that story. I know I just talked about that for 5 years, but you just have to have your story. And it doesn't matter if you joined yesterday. It doesn't matter if you joined 7 years ago. Have that story, get it in your notepad, take little bits and pieces of it, post it to Facebook, include the income disclosure statement, and be so consistent. And then as you're doing all of Yulisa's tips of post, getting people into your network, you're knocking 2 birds out with 1 stone. They either want to join your team or they want to join as a customer. But if your guys' Facebook is quiet and you haven't talked about It Works and you're not consistent, they will find someone's team to join that is killing it, that is all over their wall, that does have a vision, that pulls on their heartstrings in whatever ways. Okay, sorry, I'm really losing it because I'm really, really excited. Okay, so honestly, this was longer than I wanted it to be, so I'm so sorry, but I'm thankful for the 700 people that stayed on. Yulise, if you could end this, I don't know if you've been watching the chat room while I've been talking, but if you could end us strong with just one last tip, one last thing that you think people need to hear, what would that be?
Well, I was just thinking about when you started to talk about DTs, because I had that mind switch when I told myself, if I can mass enroll customers, I can mass enroll DTs. I just need to talk about it more. I need to post about it more, because I realized I wasn't even posting about the business as much. I wasn't talking to people about the business. So I switched my mind and I started doing that. And I wanted to end this with following up is the key. I signed up a girl to my team the day before yesterday. She's hosted a post for me 2 or 3 times, and that is actually how I reached out to them. You know, I tell them, do you want to do this with me? Look at your network. These all could be your customers. You know, I introduced the business to them, and I got no from her 3 times. She posted for me 3 times. Each time I got a no from her. Then one of her friends, because of her, joined my team. So then she reached out to me and said, hey, I see so-and-so has joined your team. And I said, oh yeah, when are you coming? And she still said no. She still said no. 2 days ago, she reached out to me and she said, I'm ready, what is your link? And when I got her on the phone after she signed up, we talked for a good 45 minutes. Turns out she's around my age. She's a single mom. We have so much in common. She said there's another person on her network that is doing the same business that she had reached out to with questions a few times, and that she would take forever to get back to her, or she wouldn't answer her right away. And she's like, you were on me. She's like, that is why I wanted to be on your team, because you never stopped asking me. You never stopped talking. You never stopped loving my posts and commenting on my posts. That is why she joined. So following up is the key. Don't ever assume just because they say no once. She told me no 4 times. Even after her friend joined me, she said no. So
that's good. That is so good. I just caught up on all the comments. So good. People are just loving this. I really, really hope that we answered so many questions, but I also see there are a lot of questions of people saying, I'm still overwhelmed. I don't get it. I understand that there might've been people that joined this morning. You have to go back and you have to message your enroller and ask for more guidance if something that we said was a little bit foggy or it didn't make sense. And I also want to just make sure I remind you guys I mean, we didn't give any crazy tips like public or private or anything like that, but what we said just works for us. If you're doing something that is completely opposite of what Elise said, maybe you're only doing skincare host posts. I don't know, whatever works for you, don't change it. We are just helping those that maybe wanted a little tweak or just a little bit of help. Okay. So I'm really excited about this. I think it has and will continue to help so many people, you guys, but, the last thing I'll answer, because there was a same question over and over and over again. When it comes to messaging for distributors, you guys, this is something where you cannot look for a script for that. You have got to be yourself. And so if I'm someone that, even though I have the confidence in this business and I love what I do, I still get very uncomfortable. Like I'm a little bit like me and Elise were talking right before and I'm like, why are we sweating? Why? We're confident Virgo speakers and we were tweaking out. I don't like this, but I like the outcome of it. And that's why I keep going. And it's the same thing with messaging for people that I think would kill it on my team. So if I could give you another like tip or homework assignment, it would be just to drop those scripts, to drop the mindset of what is the perfect thing to send to everybody that's following me on Instagram, and to just feel it out based on the person. And maybe I know that it gives people anxiety thinking about voice messaging, but for me, it's like, okay, I don't have to say the perfect thing. They get to hear my heart. They get to hear my silliness. I don't have the perfect things to say, and I'm going to make sure I make that known in the voice message. So maybe it's like, maybe I have someone that keeps on showing up on my newsfeed today, and I'm just like, you got that feeling in your gut. You have to act on it. This business, this company is not saturated, but we are killing it. It Works is doing really, really good. And so it's probably rare that you are the only It Works person on someone's newsfeed. And so you want to be the one that's seen. You want to be the one, like, what about the people that don't have a brain cell for this, like me? Elise, I guess she saw it, but it's not like she was looking for it. She wasn't looking for a business opportunity. So think about everybody on your Facebook right now. How many Facebook friends do you have? I have 5,000. I think about it and I'm overwhelmed with I know I haven't talked to all 5,000. How many people on there have never thought about joining me? But me saying you would do good is everything they need to hear, because they just didn't think about it, right? But then someone encouraging you. I have so many people that joined my team and said, I never even thought about it. Why would I be good? You think I could be good? Okay, can this tie into my schedule? And they kill it. So don't think that just because 100 people don't come to you every day, that means no one wants to do this and that $100 is a lot and all those things we tell ourselves. You guys have to be the ones sometimes to address it. So get those people to accept your friend request, be consistent with your sharing your story and the vulnerability about it. And then when you have those gut feelings of like, I would kill to have Yulise on my team, I would voice her and just be like, okay, girl, I normally wait for people to come to me, but I cannot stop the feeling every time I see you on my newsfeed. Have you thought about an extra income? I'm just saying you would kill it. I think we'd be best friends. And I just feel like you could do really good. And I just had to ask you in case this was something you were thinking about and maybe you were scared to message me. Anyways, no worries at all. Have a good day. I just want to let you know you're on my mind. That is literally something I would do. And that isn't a script. That's how I feel about Yulise in this given moment. It's not perfect. Someone might be watching this and be like, ew, I wouldn't. Well, guess what? I'm me, you're you, whatever you feel, act on it. And you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, you guys. So I love you guys. I'm really, really, it's always an honor to be able to serve the company. And I really just hope that this transformed your guys' business, and it not just today, but you guys take what we said and you really take it to heart, and maybe you even watch the recording and you just take it and run with it. So I just want to real quick, again, I know I wasn't able to flash it in front of you guys, but we are very, very proud of our income disclosure statement. It's a badge of honor, the type of money we are able to make. They're all averages, and it's awesome that we have the ability to make it. So we don't take that lightly. And so Yulise, I love you so much. I know this was way outside of your comfort zone, but you just helped so many people, and I love you so much. So we hope you guys have a really good week. These recordings will be posted all over the team pages, all over the corporate pages, all over corporate's YouTube. And yeah, I just encourage you to share it with everybody. We love you guys. I hope you have a good day.